Good morning and welcome to another episode of Unscripted and Unchained RPG Review. I am DM Bloodworth, and as you can see by the graphics, this morning's video is a channel news update, update number 53. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the channel and how it's been doing, and then some of my other activities within the role-playing game community. So, so first off, the channel has been doing very well. As you may know, last month or early on in that month, the my channel had hit 1,000 subscribers, and it really has been growing exponentially since then. So pre 1,000, I used to be able to hope for about 35 subs a month, and now that number has clearly doubled, if not come very close to tripling in some cases. So it's now currently at around 1,100 subscribers and still growing, and I'm really happy that the channel has been received with the level of enthusiasm that it has. I'm continuing to put out the content that you ask for, and I certainly welcome even more comments asking for me to take a look at a variety of projects, to the point that I have so many requests right now that I'm actually kind of backlogged on some of the videos that I'd like to get to. And so that's the other purpose for these channel news updates, at least going forward, is that I will be previewing what some of the upcoming videos are going to be. And so without further ado, let me shift over to the next screen, and I can start talking about some of what is to come, or what I've also been working on in the meantime. So here we have, just a couple days ago, I uploaded, and this has been approved for sale on DrivethruRPG, is the Mythmaster Screen 4.0. So this is for Mythic Fantasy role-playing game, and basically it is a screen that will help the Mythmaster or Game Master navigate the combat sequence and everything that is related to that. And it's a 7-panel or 7-sheet combat screen, and I've made a copy of one here. I've actually set it up here, and just to show you what I've done with it. And I will do a presentation of this a little bit later in its own video as well. But on the outer part of a trifold display, I have the armor, shields, and melee weapons on this side, and this is what would be facing the players. So the players would have access to seeing this here. And then on this side, I have the missile weapons, base damage modifiers based on range and stuff. So everything on the outer portions of this is player centered. And then on the interior, what I have here is the combat round, followed by the combat resolution tables. So once you've plotted out and you've dealt with morale and initiative in the combat round sheet, you would then technically you would come over to here and start looking at your pre-combat modifiers to your combat resolution rolls. Then you would come back over to here, and you could change the order that these are in, and you can then follow through with the combat resolution, whether you hit, how well did you hit, and then what are the consequences of that. And then here, continuing in this panel right here, you will then continue to resolve some of those additional consequences, whether you caused damage over time, bleeding, wounds, or stuns, which are effective, immediately, and cause other negative aspects of being stunned, including instant kills, which can happen in this game. So you can one shot a character, or your character can be one shotted. Kind of rare, but still a possibility out there. And then a section on healing and recovery and such. So all combined up, it's about 7 pages of 7 pages of charts that were taken directly from the rule book, modified slightly just for purposes of formatting, but none of the content of the combat charts, which are in the book, have been changed in any way. So they do read just a simplified form of it without some of the footnotes, and it gives page numbers where you can go and take a look at the footnotes. All of that for 25 cents. So that's on DriveThru under the R.Sell gaming publishing heading. So you can look it up through there and find it there as well. And there's a link in the comment section or in the video description at the end here. Not very good at boasting my own materials. Second game that I am going to start talking about is Stalker RPG. So I picked up this just the other day, and there was a Lulu sale, and so I was like, all right, great, let me grab this on Lulu, and I picked this up. And the reason why I wanted this is not only is it a sci-fi role-playing game, kind of post-apocalyptic, kind of ties into possibly more post-apocalyptic than Cyberpunk, but perhaps there's some crossover there as well. I haven't started digging into it, but this has been listed as one of the inspiration role-playing games for MYFAROG. So I've wanted to get my hands on this for quite some time. The other book, as you can see, I finally picked this up on Lulu as well. I'm a big fan of first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. It's probably my favorite edition to play. Actually, I won't even say probably. It is my favorite edition of Dungeons and Dragons to play. And this I felt would be a great reference to have everything compiled right here. And you can actually use this as a rule book to to play and to write your campaigns and such. So that's coming up soon as well. My first look at this and breakdown and thoughts and and review of this product. The big news coming up, obviously, is Cyberpunk 2077. So I have pre-ordered this. I should be getting it on December 9th. So in 2 days, I should be able to unlock it on my Steam account. Hopefully I can preload it, and crossing my fingers, hoping that it actually will run on my computer. I checked the specs, and from what I see, I'm certainly in the required realm, not quite near the recommended in some cases. So crossing my fingers and hoping, hoping that it does run fine. So I have that as well. Another project I'm working on is I'm finally writing an adventure that is as close to writing for a D&D adventure without actually writing it for Dungeons and Dragons. So I'm writing an adventure for Survive This fantasy RPG, which is by Bloat Games, and originally I was writing this particular adventure for D&D Basic, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to avoid having to do all of that, all of those disclaimers and the I forget the acronym for it. But anyway, just avoid that and just write it for Survive This Fantasy and put that out there on DriveThru, probably coming up in a couple of weeks. I want to really do spend some time with it. I'm creating my own map, which is the first time that I'm creating my own map for an adventure, and so that's going in there. I have that pretty much done, as far as the graphics, and the design of the map itself. And although I used somewhat the bare bones of a map generator program to do it, but the rest is all mine, and I've tweaked it and moved things around and changed it enough that it is certainly a unique map and one of my own creation. So that's pretty much it. I mean, there's a lot on my plate, and there's a lot coming up this next week and a half as far as videos are concerned. So just be on the lookout. I'm kind of preparing and getting ready for the 9th. And so you probably won't see any of these other videos until sometime after my first reaction to Cyberpunk 2077. And then I will play 2077, for, several sessions at least, or until my character dies. And that's when I've tended to stop my playthroughs when my character dies, which I think is kind of the way I like to do it. I think that there's kind of an integrity behind doing walkthroughs when you have people following a particular video stream, that it's best to show kind of a real reaction to the video game itself, and to not stop playing it, but stop broadcasting it when your character dies. So at least that's something that I've been doing lately with some of my video game playing on the channel. So let's switch out of this. So once again, thanks for joining. I hope you like this video. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the channel comment section. If there's any suggestions of videos you'd like for me to do, any games you want me to take a look at, please leave them in there. I will eventually get around to everything. Like I said, I have quite a lot on my plate right now. I have a bit of a backlog, and I'm just trying to hit some of these, strike some of these irons while they're hot. Certainly with Cyberpunk 2077 coming out in 2 days, I want to hit that on day one and have a video out probably that evening if everything works out fine, or the following day, earliest possible time that I can get a video out, I certainly will. So once again, thanks for joining. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. I know a lot of my viewers, I have like analytics that tell me that, a good 50% of my viewers are actually not subscribed. So if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. And, it does help me a lot in getting the channel more exposure out there, as far as the algorithm is concerned. And it also gives you a great opportunity to chime in from time to time, as often as you'd like, and leave your comments there or suggestions. And I try to follow up on those as quickly as I can. Generally within a week or so, I've responded to suggestions or inquiries. So once again, have a great day. Be safe out there, and I look forward to seeing you on the gaming screen sometime soon. You'll have a great afternoon. Take care.